Hello, there we go. How are we? Christmas music is now off. Hope we're good. And look, I'm a little bit time restricted today to my frustration, but today we are going to be looking at something we briefly touched on last stream, but I'm going to be further touching on today and really looking into it. Because in the summer, you do not need me to tell you, but I'm going to say it anyway. We sold a striker that got us 32 goal contributions last season as a very much secondary player. It never really solidified a spot in the team, was always a bit in and out, and in the big games often got left out. That is Julian Alvarez. And what was so big about Julian Alvarez was the fact that this guy was a high in quality, but was also secondary, almost like Ortega and Edison. But I'd say even better, because like Julian Alvarez, there's no doubt about it, he is a first team player. He does not deserve to be a secondary player. He knows that, and we know that. We knew we were extremely fortunate to have a player of his quality. What we got in here, I did actually see this Mail Sport saying that we're going to sign 4 players in Jan. Look, I'm taking it with a pinch of salt. Don't know, feels weird for hearing Pep saying that he wants to finish the season with the squad he has, and now we're hearing that we're going to sign 4 players. I have no doubt that we will sign players in January, at least 1. I pray for 2, and anything more is brilliant as well. But I'm thinking 1 to 2 in January, to be honest. For me personally, I've got no sources, but that's what's like playing in my head. You see that we want Kimmich, makes no damn sense to me. Play at nearly 30. Thought we wanted 30's midfield is gone. It is a weird one. I don't know why we'd replace 30s with other 30s. It's not the fact that they're 30. No, it's not the fact that, it's not the fact that the quality isn't there from some of our other 30s. It's just because they are 30s. It's not long term, it's short term. If we get Kimmich, he's got an absolute max of 4 years with us. That isn't even like a full normalized contract nowadays. Contracts nowadays are 5 to 6 years. Typically 5. I think the max should be 5, but some clubs do 9. Chelsea. How are you? Less than a week till Christmas now. Yep, I'm excited. A little bit nervous as well, but I'm excited. Christmas is always great. But look, as much as we have seen these stats all before, I am going to show you them once again, just to jog the memory that doesn't even need jogging. It's obviously Julian Alvarez. Again, we did look at this. I'm not going to bother spending too much time on Julian Alvarez's stats, because we know what he gives us. Well, gave us. Look, 32 goal contributions in 54 games. And a lot of the time he did come off the bench. Although I'd like to say, he didn't get benched tons completely, but you look at this: 1 minute, 8 minutes, 8 minutes. To be fair, went on about 4 or 5 starts in a row, then on the bench here. Probably came off there. On the bench, I reckon that would be on the bench. Would have started that. He did play a lot of minutes, Alvarez. Like, if we have a look here, starting 11, he started 31 games, benched in 5. No, subbed in on 5, on the bench twice. So, he started the majority. Champions League, he started all our FA Cups, started the 1 Carabao Cup game we had, Champions League, wherever that may be. Can we find it? Champions League, only started 2 in the Champions League, which probably annoyed him, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if that was frustrating. So I could see Alvarez's frustration. He wants to start. Nervous? How come? I don't know. I've got a lot of gifts to give. I do tend to buy a lot at Christmas time, but I've got a lot of gifts to give, so I'm just hoping everyone likes him. Alvarez also played midfield. It wasn't great, but much better than what I have now. Yeah, that was something else. Well, not just striker. He could play off the wing if we needed him to. He could play at the cam. He could play anywhere along that front 4 kind of area. So Alvarez had everything. And 32 goal contributions in a bench player that we bought for £14 million is not something you come across every day. And today we're going to have a look at tons of different names. I'll start with this one. Just a name I know, not of super high merit. I don't know. I don't really know him very well in terms of his stats. But look, this season for them, like, I'm not going to end up naming players like Alvarez that were signed in River Plate. My knowledge isn't that good, but this season alone, he's gotten 17 goals and 4 assists. That's pretty good output. That's similar to Haaland. And he'd want to join on a free as well, potentially, or we could probably get him pretty cheap in January. What I will say is that there's been a lot of Barcelona talk. I think he's going to end up at Barca, but what I'm saying is that there was a player there. Last season, he got the same amount of goal contributions as Alvarez. Season before that, 30 goal contributions. Of course, David is a lot more established than what Alvarez was. He's been banging in numbers for a while now. But I think I don't know if there is a way to get Jonathan David on the bench for us, to be honest, But again, it's a name. In terms of positions, very much just sits in the striker area. This is a name I know, not very well. I believe he plays for Leipzig. Nah, he plays for Milan. I don't really know him very well. I'm really just throwing names out there this season. Not tons of goal contributions, but to be fair, looks like he's gotten a couple of injuries here and there. I'll have a look at previous seasons, see if his numbers are worth noting. Looks like he picks up a few injuries. I'd probably stay clear of this guy, to be honest. There's 2 injuries quite close to each other there. Of course, these could be related to each other. Maybe he didn't quite recover from this, played here, got injured again. Didn't get injured for the rest of the season, it doesn't seem. We just got to be careful with injury records as well. That was something else with Alvarez. Didn't get injured despite the amount of minutes he played. Probably what frustrated him so much was he was not playing in games like Madrid where Haaland was constantly rubbish. Yeah, he played a lot of minutes and he said that, but he said the bigger games he wasn't getting played in, which I think it's perfectly valid. As a player, you want to play all the big ones. I still think that of a world where Haaland left and Alvarez, and we had Alvarez up front. I can't lie, I love Alvarez up front, high press and stuff. Yeah, that isn't the worst. That isn't a bad world, is it? Our problems come from the front. Haaland never presses, so other teams just easily pass through. I get home, going dark. I wake up, still dark. It's always dark this time of year. I know. Now it's pitch black. It's pitch black, and it's just about to be 5. Come on. Any other striker names? You know what? I'm going to search up. Of course, we want someone a bit younger. It doesn't need to be 19, but someone that's 23 and under. We got to try and find good young players that would be willing to make this step, but would also be willing to sit behind Haaland. I'm trying to think of who that could be. Feel free to put name suggestions if you have any. If you don't, it's fine. Big ups for tuning in, everyone. Make sure to hit the likes if you haven't already, too, because, of course, every single like helps. trying to look for names. I mean, there is always this name. I don't know, but I feel like would he want to be sat behind Haaland? How do you spell his name? Oh, Evan should do. You know the guy I'm on about just through that. There you go. I don't know if this guy would want to sit behind Haaland either. Maybe De Zerbi leaving would make him want to leave too. De Zerbi, I believe, did good for him. I don't know what his injury record's like either. I remember him getting a hat-trick last season against Palace and then disappeared. That's all I can remember. Look, this season he's only got 1 goal in 13. Hasn't started tons of games though. Only 2 starts, 9 times off the bench. Is he in the manager's favour? I'm not sure. Of course, last season his numbers were pretty good. We have another look. Oh. Last season he got 6 goals, 1 assist as well. Yeah, I knew he picked up an injury. Never scored a goal past here though. And when was that? That is 25th of November. Didn't score a Premier League goal for the rest of the season. Sheesh, maybe not then. Maybe not. Did he score a goal even after that point? Looks like he got a goal in the cup. No, didn't even get a goal in the cup. So no, didn't even get a goal after that. So yeah, didn't get a goal in Europe. Jeez. Nah, yeah. Yeah, we'll dip from that. I'm trying to think of other names, other young names. I've just searched up young strikers now on Google just to see if that'll find us players that can bag stats. Let's have a look at this. I'm trying to find a bit more names that were like Alvarez, you know, a bit out there, not exactly like unreal, but still. This guy, 2 goals, 5 assists in 22 games. How many times does he start? No start in 11 games there. Started 9, so he's basically a starter. Last season, when he would have had a full season, bear in mind he's still young, 3 goals, 6 assists. No, 12 goals, 3 assists even. Again, not bad. Looks like he picked up an injury here and there too. Again, not bad for a young player. I just thought of a player now. I can't remember their name. Will it come back to me? Don't know if it will. No, I don't think it is. Did you see reports we want Robinson for Fulham? I'll have a look at him in a minute. I just remembered the player I wanted to search. We got rumoured on him quite late last season. Ori Oskarsson. He's blinking heck. He's already moved on. He was at Copenhagen in the summer, and we've already missed our boat. Well, let's see how he's doing there. Yeah, 10 goals, 1 assist in 26 matches. Again, that's a good player. And he's on a contract till 2030. There's not a chance we get this lad. It looks like we missed the boat. Might as well have a look at his previous stats and shame. 15 goals, 8 assists. Looks like he's going to break that, though, the rate he's going so far. Again, that's a big player that we eyed up, but if we were ever going to move in on him, we've probably lost a chance. Robinson, the Fulham guy. Robinson, here we go. So he's 27, a bit older than Haaland, but it's not like he's, finished or anything like that. Okay, he's not a striker, but I don't mind having a look. 6 assists so far this season, that's pretty good. That's not too bad. Fulham have also done pretty good this season, to my knowledge. Got 2 assists versus Liverpool. Maybe he's a player we can look at again in the future. There was a player I wanted to search. I've lost him again. Apparently this guy is like Wolves is like ace, like their best guys, 25. You know, it kind of stinks of the Nunes move again. But 8 goals, 3 assists so far this season. It's not bad. He's been in the Premier League a little bit now. Last season, he got 14 goals, 8 assists in a Fulham team. Again, went through blips and not being in the squad, you know, in this, 9-game period, only in the squad 3 times. How many games did he start? 29, subbed in 3 times. Alvarez had more than that. Maybe he'd be quite happy. Of course, he needs to start well. Sorry, by the way, I suggested left back. Yeah, no worries. Again, when we have a look at like just a genuine. I intend to do lots of transfer talk in January. We can really have a look at that. There was actually a player, if you remember, in January last year, I did a video of one player your club needs to sign. For Arsenal, I said this guy because he bangs goals. I'm gonna have a look at his injury record because that's already not promising. But if you just look at this alone, that's 13 GNA in 12, and last season that's 34 GNA in 41. So you know he gets stats. He's not going to be cheap, especially in January. But he'll only have 2 years left in his deal come the summer. This season, doesn't really look like it's too much. You know, last season picked up some not too big injuries. Picked one up right at the end of the season for Feyenoord. Then he's picked up another one here. But you know, other than that, very minor injuries. This seems to have been his biggest. Big ups for tuning in, though. Appreciate the interaction in the chat. Other strikers. Just trying to think of more names now. Trying to think of players that would want to move and get almost like that step up. What's that Dortmund player called? He's quite young. Dortmund, like, I believe it's like that. Please tell me I'm right. I am. He's on loan at Nice. Hey, United signed a loan player once. Maybe we can make something happen between the 3 of them. He's only got 4 GNA this season. To be fair, he's only started 13 matches. And not even that. He's very much been on the bench. Whether that's a good sign or not, I don't know. He's only started 2 games. And in that game, in one of those that he started, he got 2. Doesn't really seem to have the manager's favour. We'll go last season, see if his stats there are good. He's only 20, so he's got time. 6 goals here. Again, not great. On the bench a lot, though. Couple injuries here and there. See if it gets better / worse. If we go back. 7 goals, 6 assists. Yeah, again, not bad. Maybe he would have been 18 at this point. Oh, yeah. Didn't really want to click on that. And then 3 goals, 5 assists. So, he looks like every time I'm looking here, though, he's getting a bit of red. Seems to have a relatively bad injury record. Yeah, last season he picked up 2. Season before that he picked up 2. Season before that he picked up 3, 4. Yeah, probably stay clear of this because he seems to just pick up injuries, which is unfortunate for him. You know, don't want players. You know, you never want to pick up injuries, but we don't want to pick up players that pick up injuries. So we'll probably stay clear of Makoko as well. Trying to think of other players. I'm hoping that'll do. Yes. Again, don't really know much about this guy. It's just a name. 2 goals, 2 assists. Let's see about. He's a new arrival, so we're not going to get him in January, are we? Last season, 14 goals, 1 assist. That seems to have earned him the transfer. Enjoying the stream. Big ups. Again, feel free to leave names in the chat. So I'll have a look at all of them. Karim Konate. Just going to get the Liverpool centre back, aren't I? Here we go. 20. Contract till 2028. This season, 8 goals, 2 assists. Salzburg do tend to have like a gem here and there, to be fair. Look, they had Haaland at a period of time, so they can't be too bad. But 8 goals, 2 assists so far this season. Let's go last season. 22 goals, 8 assists. This is in Bundesliga. A different Bundesliga. Look, it's a very different league, but look, this is the kind of out there signing that City can make. You know, he's quite young. He's only 20. We signed Alvarez at a similar age. 22 goals, 8 assists in 38 matches. Not too bad. Should we have a look at his injury history? Ouch. Okay, okay. No, we're not signing him then. He's just done his ligament. Alright, unlucky. We know the pain. Very unfortunate season for him so far. Yeah, that is rough. Well then, even if we were interested, we're not going in for him because he's done his ligament. Braithwaite is a big link at the moment. Very injury prone, similar played Stones there. Is that Everton centre back? Yeah, I did hear about that. But I thought a similar thing. I know he picks up a good couple of injuries at the very least. Just trying to think of other players that could back up Haaland. Some out there strikers, if you will. Let's go back on my list. And this guy. Again, don't really know how good this guy is either. Only worth 5 million, and he's been that way since the beginning of last season. 1 goal in 9, but to be fair, he's played less than 3 games worth of minutes. Picked up an injury. He's started any games? No, he's not started a single match this season. Which look isn't necessarily his fault. Could be just winning the manager's favour. Can't win it. Looks like he picked a bad injury there. That's unlucky. Is there a season where he had some good minutes or had some good numbers? This isn't too bad for someone that would have been, 16? I'll have a look at his injury record. There's a lot of not in squad, but that might just be because, he was 16 at the time, just coming through the academy, and plus 14 of these goals, 8 of them in, the under-18s, under-19s, and then another one in the under-19s. So he only got 5 goals in the first team in reality. Again, a decent striker. But let's just go back to Alvarez real quick. I just want to see what Alvarez's numbers were like at River Plate in his final year. Let's have a look at that. So click that. And he joined us there. So let's have a look here. Right, he obviously And there's 18 goals, 6 assists in that season. That was in the January that we signed him, and he stayed on loan. Previous season, how many minutes did he get? 24 goals, 15 assists. Pretty good. Pretty good. 1920, were you playing then? 9 goals, 6 assists. So that Alvarez has been banging numbers for a while now. You know, and look, 15 GNA is still good for someone that's so young. And even here, he would have been playing. This suggests that he was playing in his first team at what? How old would he have been? Like, I'm in the 18-19 season, 6 years ago. He's about 18, possibly 17, depending on his birth date. So, you know, he's getting the trust. He's getting the trust. I could be the hero and Haaland backup. I mean, I'll take almost anyone as a Haaland backup right now. Let's have a look at the Kyogo guy that we briefly did look at, the Celtic guy. Yeah, here he is. Of course, he's 29 now, so he's not exactly young. You know, he wouldn't be a player for the future. He'd literally only be in the team to rotate with Haaland, but this season he's on 11 GNA. I know the last season was a bit of a lower numbered season for him. 24, which still isn't awful. It's more than our wingers get. And then I know... Oh, wait, no, I didn't want to have a look at that. Oh, okay, yeah, it's been sent to a different page. This season, 20 goals, 5 assists. Oh, he's in the Scottish Premiership. I know this was his best season, 22-23, 39 goal contributions. You know, so pretty good year. He's getting a goal almost every game. Sometimes treats himself to 2. Gets an assist here and there as well. You know, so but Kyogo is a good player, but if we want long term, he's probably not the best choice. But if we did go for him, he's very cheap, and Kyogo would definitely take the move, I feel. He would 100% take the move. Who else is there? I've got my list here. Apparently there's this guy. I don't know anything about this guy, but, you know, I'm just trying to find players that have had good numbers for the clubs. Paris. Here we go. So he's on loan here, so we're probably not going to get him, but this season, no goals yet. But there must be a reason why Dortmund signed him, because he's a Dortmund player, but he's on loan. He's only started one game, and he's not been subbed in any other time. So he's barely had minutes, you know. And doesn't really seem to be putting in one of the better teams either. So we'll have a look at last season. He's only 18, by the way, so it's key to note. And he looks like he's a Dortmund Academy player. So last season, mainly in their academy, bear in mind. May have gotten a goal or something in the cup, I'm not sure, but it looks like it was all from academy. 33 goals, 33 games, 23 goals, 8 assists. Look, he probably needs to do it on a bigger stage before City made a move. Plus, he'd be a summer signing, if anything, because we're not getting him. Astrobot, yep, that's soon. That's in just over 10 minutes. By the way, there's 12 teams who have more points than Arsenal Invincible. There you go. Again, I'm just throwing names out there at this point because I'm not sure where to go. Because signing an Alvarez replacement is not an easy task. There's this guy. There's no way we would sign this guy in January, I don't feel. And look, he basically just signed a new contract to stay at the club as well. So to get a move on this guy is extremely low. He pulls in good numbers though, 13 GNA in 22 matches. Last season, the season where he was linked to Arsenal, He got 20 GNA in 42 games. So look, there's obviously attention for him. He's obviously a decent player, and I think he is going to get that move eventually. 97 points coming second. Yeah, that is crazy. I'd be so angry if I was Liverpool, but I'm not because we got 98. Any other players? I'm just trying to think of anyone. There's this one RB Leipzig player. I can't remember his name. I can't remember it to save my life. I want to see if I can spot them here. Obviously, this hasn't been the best season for. Here we go. For Leipzig, obviously, but there is this guy. Look, I don't know if this guy would be willing to sit on the bench with Haaland. Well, not with Haaland, but back him up a bit. But this season, he's on 17 GNA. He's obviously a good player. There's no doubt about that. Last season, what'd you get? 35 GNA. So, look, this guy's obviously a good player, but if we're going to find anyone to get the numbers for Alvarez, sadly, I don't know many talents that are out there, like Alvarez was. He was an out there talent. Sadly, I don't know many players like that. I can only really find players around here and, well, in Europe, and they're obviously going to be a bit more expensive if they're producing these numbers. But look, last season he scored in almost every game he was playing in. Only a handful he didn't. Started most games. Let's have a look at his injury record. 1 game missed in his entire career, and he's 24, so he's been doing it for a while now. He's not new to it. I think he'd be open to the move. I just don't know how open he'd be to sitting on the bench with Haaland. Very much an attacker, doesn't really seem to dip in midfield, but who knows what would happen with him if he joined City and worked under Pep. Who knows what would be his story. But look, bottom line is I don't really know who we'd sign someone like Alvarez. No one that I can find with ease. I'd have to go really into it. I'd have to do more than a deep dive and really, I don't know, deeper than a deep dive, super deep dive. City, I just hope they know what they're doing. I hope they know that we need a backup for Haaland. Haaland can't have no competition. It's not good for him. It's not good for the club. It's only going to be difficult, and I feel like we're seeing it. And plus, we need someone with that output. The Alvarez output was huge. He had great output for a backup striker. Too good of an output for a backup striker, and we didn't replace that. We just lost it. Thank you all for tuning in. I don't know who we signed, but it's tough. I'm not gone for long because I'm back on the gaming channel in 7 minutes doing an Astrobot stream. I'll tell you now, though, it's only going to be about an hour, I'm afraid. I can't do it for super long because I've got things on. But I promise an Astrobot stream. I'm delivering one. Big ups to you all. And yeah, I'll see you. Hopefully I'll see you at Astrobot.